We've got people striving for really, really big goals, but they don't feel safe. They don't have the basic safety needs met. And I'm highlighting this one because a lot of entrepreneurs, their biggest risk is totally running out of money, not being able to feed themselves, getting to the end of the month, not paying their bills, and yet needing food, being worried about losing their home, losing their mortgage. These are their biggest physical threats, their biggest worries. And then we've got the psychological ones of, what if I get judged? What if people laugh at me? But those you can carry around with you from room to room in a home when there's food on the table. In my experience, one of the most stressful things you can do is have no money, have bills coming in that you know you haven't got money to pay for, and then hear some coach say, you need to run more webinars. That's the solution. Then you've got to turn up on a webinar with energy and excitement and drive, and yet you haven't got any money and you're totally running through any funds that you have, and there's people knocking on the door chasing bills. Is that stressful or what? So many entrepreneurs experience that. I'm going to tell you right now what the remedy is. Either you get better, you lean in, and you get the result faster. Yes, that is an option and it's valid, but it's very painful and very risky. Another option is to make your money another way and get yourself in a position of security and safety whilst you build the skills of entrepreneurship, mindset, marketing, selling, positioning value, learning how to turn up and influence people and be someone worth following. Those skills are far easier to build when you feel safe. So my basic recommendations for this are, number one, get a job. There's nothing wrong with having a job and building a business. Or number two, build your business, the thing that you really love and you really want to do, but make money in a way that is easy for you to make money. So when I first went out as a coach and a speaker and a writer, this was always my dream. This was my dream since I was 23. And it took me so long to figure out how to do it. There was so much I had to master, which I am going to make a video about soon. But whilst I was doing it and trying to figure out how to run a webinar and how to collect money and how to turn up and do a live event, where do I sell the tickets? How do I report this? There were so many questions, but I had a marketing agency before that for years and years. So I even knew how to build a website and web pages. And I also basic tech. I knew a lot of tech. And yet that jump of being an entrepreneur and selling courses and programs and events and putting my name on a page in that way felt so different. It was such a leap. So as I made that leap, I kept a few of my marketing clients and I got a few more. I was building websites by day. And then I specifically remember one day filming the very first online course I ever filmed at midnight. I wrote about this in my book. I drove home from delivering for a client. I was working with them on site in London. I was building websites, doing that kind of work. I drove home from London to Manchester, got in, and I thought, now, change happens now. And I set up my cameras and I filmed 3 10-minute videos and I launched my very first course, probably 24 hours after that. It wasn't long. Again, I can hear how this sounds. Lisa, you said we have to sleep. Yes, I know. And this is the tricky thing about entrepreneurship. Sometimes something's got to give. In that moment, I was a little bit younger and I had such drive, such hunger, such desperation, if you will, to make that change. But I also had money coming in. I knew that at a very basic level, I could afford a tin of beans and some jacket potatoes. And in that moment, I had the energy and the drive and the resolve to do something different, to do the one true action that would actually enable me to let go of those clients and make the leap into being an online business owner. And that's what I did. But my point is, in all of this, it's okay to get a job and get paid in the meantime. And it's okay if you have skills in another area like copywriting, web design, graphic design, photography, and you're trying to make money from your passion, which is slightly different, go and use the services you can, collect money however you can, just to pay your bills, your mortgage, to afford the courses, the training, the books, so that you're not using your mortgage and bills money to build your business. It is going to take way longer than you ever thought it would, and you need a way to sustain yourself on that journey. Can I share a little tip with this as well? Very few people have done the exercise of calculating how much it costs them to survive. So something that you want to do, and it's very painful to do this, get an Excel sheet or a Word document and you want to tally up all of your outgoing bills and all of the money coming in. Immediately, most people are going to recognize they don't have enough money to match the bills going out. At this point, obviously the money needs to increase in a job, a second job, selling things online, whatever, or the output, the expenditure needs to come down. You've got to find a way to cut your cloth according to your budget. This is where you might be able to save a little bit on a food bill. You might move house to somewhere with a smaller rent. You might sell your car and buy something outright instead that's maybe a little bit more of a runaround. You've got to be gritty and you've got to invest in yourself for the future. But in order to do that, you need to know how much it costs. The second thing you want to then do is think about the costs of running your business. So you've got your basic life costs. Let's say it costs you $2,000, $3,000 in order to just scrape by, live your life, pay your mortgage, look after your kids, whatever it is. You need to know that. That's your baseline number. Then the next number is, how much is it going to cost me to run this business? You start adding in things like Kartra, ConvertKit, Canva. It does start adding up, 300 extra a month, 400 extra a month. Now we see, I don't just need 2 to 3 grand, I need 3,400 in order to scrape by every single month. Once you've mastered that and you're doing okay on that front, then you think, what number would make a difference to me here? What would I start to feel? And if you take your goal then from 3.5 grand a month to 4 grand a month or 4.5 grand a month, it's only an extra £1,000 a month, but it can make such a difference. Now, massive tip. The second you start making more money, I wish I'd known this, the second you start making more money, don't immediately invest it. I know a lot of coaches and trainers say, pay for your education, invest, you've got to pay down the naivety tax, you've got to buy coaching programs, put it on your credit card. It's all right, you'll make it, you'll figure it out. Don't do that, because it takes way longer than anyone will ever tell you to actually figure this stuff out. There's a lot of work to do. I think when the money first starts coming in, get into a habit right now of putting some of it away. Imagine looking in your bank account and you had 3 months contingency, 6 months contingency, and then when you came to invest in a coach, you actually had the money in cash to pay up front. I think the second you start saying, I'll put that on a credit card, yes, I'm going to go for the 12-month payment plan, I think what you're revealing to yourself, even though it's difficult, is you're not yet in a position. What if you just waited 3 more months and just was as gritty as hell, used the books, used the YouTube videos, and when you're in a great position, you said, yeah, go on then, I'll invest and I'll pay in cash, and I've still got my contingency. That took me a decade's worth of work, and you might be listening and be great with money and think, Lisa, you're daft. But entrepreneurship is expensive, and you have this belief in yourself that everything will work out. So yeah, I'll pay, yeah, I'll spend, yeah, this coach has promised me the earth, I'll whack it on a credit card and maybe not even tell my partner. I've heard people doing that. My advice would be just wait 3 more months, be gritty in the meantime. The time will come to invest bigger. Right now, order of events. Get safe, get secure, get a buffer, and then invest.